It's a chilly day. And I think we're going to start, well, like we usually do. Let's accept the minutes from the last meeting. Everybody read them?
Yes.
I haven't gotten one. You get an extra copy?
Well, you can have mine.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Emails.
I know.
Oh, sorry. No, that's okay. Leaves were just falling apart.
Yeah, Richie, you can't go away again.
Yeah. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Well, congratulations. Thank you. It's all over. Lost on Sunday. Oh, shoot. But it was a great one.
Oh, here comes Diana.
Oh, good. Great. A great season.
Hi, Diana.
Oh, good.
Good, how are you?
Is somebody sitting?
Nope, you could be there.
You are. I am. Okay, so we'll, at this point, I think we can accept the yes?
Did we accept the minutes, sir?
Shall we accept the
Make
minutes?
a
I
motion
just
to
have-
accept the minutes.
Yeah.
I just have one question.
Sure.
I see that it said Jim will be confirmed at the selectmen's meeting, but I thought I was supposed to be.
Were you not?
You were
Not that I know of. Was I on ever? I'd never
Yeah.
been.
Well, according to what I know, you were already on.
Okay,
And then we were talking about Jim Carpenter.
Yeah, I have not been in touch. I will do that
okay,
this afternoon.
He hadn't re-registered, so that's when Jim.
okay. So I'm just trying to clarify.
I know.
Like, did
Yeah.
I
Well,
miss something?
I went down there and did all my stuff and they did the thing and so.
And then they forgot.
No.
They did it and didn't tell anyone or something.
Yeah.
So just so that we can make sure, so Jim is now a full member.
Right,
and
right.
We don't know about Jim Carpenter, but we're assuming he's off unless he comes on as an associate director.
Yeah.
Right.
You're ahead, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
We just worked for
I'm
you.
just
Matt, and then
confused.
she did for football.
Yeah.
So you're more.
Yeah.
Do I get the sash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you feel now.
Secret handshake?
And all the privileges thereof.
Oh, free coffee at French Memories?
No.
Free coffee and
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, are the minutes, does everybody approve the minutes?
Yes, second.
Second, we're approving the minutes.
Okay.
Everybody approve? I didn't.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So we've done that. Now, how about the treasurer's report?
I did have a couple of copies, but,
I couldn't. it
oh,
come
well, I sent it because
That
it
was
was
hard
sent
to
as a
read.
Word packet, so there was confusion on the way it was displayed. But, so we've expended in our general appropriation account 34% of our budget over the first 4 months, which is pretty much in line with where we would expect to be. And so the total expenses for October were $24,636. Under the grants, we still haven't received any revenue yet. Formula grant is expected in the amount of $24,300. And ARPA receipts, as we discussed last couple of meetings, will be received as reimbursement for expenses submitted to be for food insecurity costs. Total expenses of the combined grants is $3,637 at the end of October. The majority of that represents payroll and expenses charged against the formula grant. We have a total fund balance of $9,557 under the grants, of which formula is $5,350 because of that carryover we had at the end of last year. And ARPA is $4,207. ARPA is going to have an adjustment where we have a meeting. We've requested, Nancy and I have requested a meeting with the accountant to discuss that changeover. Anyway,
Just to make things completely more complicated, I just opened a check from Social Elders this morning for, now they've, no note to tell me what is going on. It just says ARPA Food Insecurity prepay. So we just got $2,181 as a prepay when they told us they were no longer prepaying, only reimbursing.
Yeah.
So I have to get to the bottom of it, but that being said.
Cash it first.
I should then ask.
We'll see how it all falls out, right? So under revolving fund, we are now at a negative $410 for the first 4 months. The balance is $16,658 in the fund. Gift accounts, year-to-date, expenses exceed receipts by $4,577. The majority of those expenses are for the social worker, and those are being charged directly against the grant we have from the Social Service League for the social worker. So our total balance is $58,497 with unrestricted of $34,182. And then we just have that $66,000 for the van replacement, which was voted in last May at town meeting. I don't know where that stands on the town for the capital project, but
Yeah, that'll be interesting. We just got word that they were supposed to make their decision about the grant in November, and it's now been moved to March. Because of the high cost of the vehicles. And if they decide in March, if we are granted the award, we will not get it until like December, January. It's all because of the high cost, and now they have to shuffle how many people are getting the awards, I think, based on the cost of the vehicles. So, so that means the 20% is going to be higher. So I don't think it will be past 66,000 for sure, but.
Well, the longer they stall, the prices go up.
Yeah.
Are we gonna hit up against a timeline or a deadline or not? We're
No.
not in that.
Well, I don't know, that 66,000, is that good for, how long is that good for?
It's in this fiscal budget. And it ends June 30th, so we would have to extend it in the next town meeting. So we have the fall town meeting, it's still there. It's the 60,000 is contingent on a grant. So we go to the spring town meeting, we'd have to reapprove the 60,000 over again.
Right, hopefully it doesn't push that far, for sure, but no, there's no guarantee. If we're not even going to find out till March, we will not have the vehicles in June.
Not this year, certainly.
right.
If the vehicle's awarded in March and we have confirmation before June 30th, then they can encumber the 60,000, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Right, and then we won't have to go to put another article in the warrant.
It would be a carryover anyway, so I would think it wouldn't, I don't know. I wouldn't think it would be a problem going forward. They carry over a lot of different things. Since it already has been appropriated, set aside, perhaps, but who knows?
Yeah, we have to use it by the end of the fiscal year, or they have to reallocate it, I believe, because it's contingent on a grant.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not a purchase that was made but not delivered yet.
Mhm.
We'll just keep our fingers crossed. It's very complicated.
How safe is that grant? I mean, if we're not ready, does the grant go away? What happens?
If we're not ready, we're all ready to accept it if they award it to us. I guess I don't understand.
Well, I mean, if the grant comes in, but it's too late for us to do anything with it, do we still hang on to the grant, or is that dissolved and go somewhere else?
Oh, well, we have to commit, and we sent in along with the grant, I did get a letter from the town saying that they committed to the
Okay,
20%.
good.
So I think.
Hang on to that letter.
Any other questions, comments on the financial report?
Well, we're down in the gifts and donations department. How is that?
That is because of the payroll for the Social Service League. The timing of when we receive those payments from Social Service League and when we pay out her salary
Got it.
is a little different, but we actually have under the social, we have almost $6,000
Okay.
that we have received on that grant that we have not expended. So
Oh, good.
That 59,000 is 6,000 allocated to the social worker.
Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And how many hours does she work?
15.
15.
Do we have a social worker now?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the status?
Oh, yes, and she's here today because she's not in a couple of days this week. So before we all leave, I'd like to introduce her to you all.
Oh, we'd love to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we are at,
Accept these.
oh yeah, okay, we'll accept the
Make a
report.
motion to accept.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Nancy, it's your turn.
All right. So some of this stuff, oh, if you could pass it along, sorry, I didn't send it off to you, Paul, online, but. Give me more.
Thank you.
Does everybody have one?
Karen didn't get one.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, so pretty much we covered a couple of things. The first thing I wanted to share was about the wheelchair van. The decision is being delayed. Next is, Elaine mentioned that formula grant, we did receive it. You should see it. The increases, in years past, it was 20,256. And now we're increasing, the state increased it to 24,300 due to the older number of residents we have in town.
It's
And
interesting. Could I just, last month I mentioned that Jenny Najmi was going to look into that percentage of seniors.
Yeah.
And so she did. She came up with, this is over 17, 2,202. I mean,
that
this
was
is
so close.
this is
Yeah,
so
wow,
close.
my goodness.
So I'll tell her, she'll be
Yeah,
thrilled.
tell her that-
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And what's the magic age for seniors? 60?
60,
Uh,
60.
60. Okay.
So the formula grant is from 17 or 18,000 up to 24 now?
Yes.
No, it was
20,000.
20,000 before. Now it's 24.
Okay, 20 to 24.
Yes.
Did they change the rate?
No, still $12 an elder.
Okay, so and the change was because of a head count?
Well, they changed it based on, I think it's UMass. They didn't do the US Census. It's, I sent that along to you. I think it's on the University of Massachusetts estimate of the population. And that's what the state used for these numbers, which they think are pretty close to what the US Census is going to come up with. So that's where we get that number that they based it off of.
Are they do they plan to adjust it when the real census numbers come out?
Oh.
No? Wow, okay.
So if, I mean, maybe next year, but not this year. We're not getting, they said they're using numbers no matter what.
Right. But yeah, I'm just saying for next year, would they adjust it based on the real census numbers as much?
Oh, yeah, they may. They just said there was going to be no changes this year if the US Census was different from what they had already sent out to people. That's all I'll say.
Awesome.
I think,
Plan. Oh,
So what
well,
is it
think we
quantity
were-
then? Oops, sorry.
ahead.
So what's the number of seniors we stated we had from 2010 to the new one that UMass says we have?
I think we were getting it based on approximately 1,600.
Yep.
And change, and now it's up to 2,025.
Okay. So that's the number is 2025. They estimated those over 60 in Cohasset.
Correct.
Okay.
I think, we got talking about that because we used a different percentage in the age friendly,
Yeah.
or I think, and was lower. The percentage was lower than this
Then this
percentage.
amount.
But Ginny was saying the number that she came up with, and obviously this one is adults. it's not taking into account children in the town. I don't
Oh, you
believe,
mean for percentage?
yeah, because she's heard the number she came up with was 17, was above 17, so 18 and older.
From 18 and over is how many, what's the
She
percentage?
came up with 2,205, I think. So I just said. So, and that's not counting any children. So when that percentage that we talked about, it was either the age friendly or the certification.
No, it was the age friendly, because I
Yeah.
thought it was 22%, which I thought was low.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But maybe that's what the percent is if you count the whole population
Huh.
of the town.
That seems silly. mean,
I don't
think
know.
It should be
Would-
adults. but-
You know, when you're budgeting the town, though, you talk about the whole population. The school is this population, the adults are this percentage.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
Right, because that's where we got the
Subject,
numbers is
yeah.
off of the census data of percentages, so.
No, just a point of, this is
Right,
good
that's
that
a
we're
good-
getting more money anyway.
Yeah.
Do we have a plan on how we are going to spend it? Not
We
yet.
do not have a plan yet. We are, right now, the plan is to do, so we do have a balance and conditioning class that we, Taffy goes to nicely. And we did get an instructor for that,
Oh,
so I
good.
think at least, so I am hoping to do more programs like that, more workshops that are really those important ones that we want to get people in the door, do that under the grant. So maybe provide those classes for free. And pay for more of our programs, some of the programs and bigger events at low or no cost. So right now, that's all I've got.
So there's no restrictions on how we spend that
As long as
money?
it's for seniors. It's no restriction from the state. It's just a restriction as far as the town manager, how he wants to or doesn't want to let us. He does not want us to add any staff in to pay for it.
Of course they don't.
Right.
Our
Is
benevolent
he adding
overlord.
his staff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say he adds to his staff.
Okay, the next I just wanted to bring up, you may have all gotten your recognition invitations from the town of Cohasset. It would have, I did receive a call. Some people, if you don't have a town of Cohasset web email address, they want everybody to have that, but it would have been sent to your personal addresses if that's all they have. If you didn't get it, let me know and I'll forward it to you. It is Monday, November 21st. It's always during the Thanksgiving.
7 PM?
7.
Oh, I thought you said
Six.
6, which
It
is
is 6. It's 6, yeah.
6 PM?
And just so that you know, I won't be here. So if you do come and you don't see me, I'm not bugging out, but I won't be around.
We can talk behind your back.
You can. All right, next I wanted to bring to your attention a couple of things that are coming up this month in December. We've got a full plate of things. We have Name That Tune, holiday tunes with Linda Chukran, which people seem to love. She's from Allerton House and she gets the crowd going. So we're hoping we get a lot of response to that one. Get Creative with Karen, it's a holiday craft. We are having the Toys for Tots. As you know, Toys for Tots we've been accepting for the past couple of years. And we are really trying to put it out there so townwide, they all know this is the place to drop them off. December 8th, we're having cookies and some warm apple cider and some, I don't know if it's the chorus or the band will be here for a half an hour or so at 1:00, and then we'll have some piano music. So we really would love for each of you to come and just kind of mingle. Hopefully we get people during the open house, but that's available for us, and the last day to drop off the Toys for Tots. Next is Broad Cove Choral Holiday Concert is on December 14th at 10:30. That's a free concert that we're providing. And then the Rusty Skippers, their annual concert is here at night at 7:30 on December 20th.
Thank you. Can I ask a question?
You may.
Isn't there going to be something here about a bookstore that,
That was
What?
oh, it happened last Thursday? Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, thank you. How did that go? May I ask?
I thought it went very well. I got a few books for my grandchildren, and so they had stuff for everybody. They had adult books, they had young kid books, they had postcards, they had stocking stuffers, they had a lot of stuff. They really transformed the room.
Yeah.
Into a little bookstore, so it was great. We're hoping to have them back again as well.
Oh, good.
And then the proceeds, 15% of the proceeds went to the Friends group, which is really
Yeah,
nice.
I went too. I thought it was good.
Mhm.
They did a nice job.
What kind of turnout did we get?
Kind of what?
Turnout.
I don't think there was a clinic here, which was kind of nice, and that's kind of got some traffic, but it wasn't overly busy, but there were people who were coming in and out. So it was decent.
Was it advertised at all?
We
Poorly, I thought.
Yeah.
Poorly.
Just through us,
Yeah,
not
'cause
anywhere else.
I would
yeah.
think at this time of year, it would have brought in, because I know they did a lot for Christmas cut type stuff. Books and children's books and puzzles. They had tons of
Tons of
puzzles.
puzzles, yeah. So
Now,
last,
are we, speaking of turnouts, are we using the TVs at all to remind people what's going on?
our TVs here. Well, there is a problem with the main TV. That's the one that I want to have everybody as they're walking in, seeing
Yeah.
stuff that's coming on with us. And that's been a problem because we do pay an annual fee to keep that running the way that it's set up. And there's a problem with it. So that's why we haven't been able to do that. But many times we do have it out there. But that's the main TV that we do put the upcoming stuff,
Yeah,
activities
just
that
to
are
roll
going on.
through
Yeah,
what's coming up.
So we do have IT working on that with us.
Then I noticed this morning I couldn't sign in,
Right,
so.
screen wasn't working.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what happened over the weekend because we had this set up we used this for the men's group on Thursday and there was something wrong with this that Richie had to work on this morning. So maybe we had lost electricity or something over the weekend. Not
oh,
quite
a pole
sure.
went down,
Oh, did it?
up on
Okay, so
South
that
Main.
would have been why
Oh,
my
wow.
sister,
Okay.
burned. Oh, yeah.
really?
It burned?
Pole fire.
Pole.
Oh.
yeah.
So maybe that might have
never heard
affected
of
everything.
Just up past Maple Street.
Oh, dear.
So it did take out the electricity.
Okay, so then that's why this didn't work and we had to reboot this and we probably works now. They probably rebooted my
Okay.
senior center as well.
The superintendent of schools publishes a newsletter every Friday. Then we have a newer superintendent, for 2 or 3 years. And I wonder if he would allow cross promotion if you gave him little ads, like things that parents might be interested in, such as the book sale, because that's such a nice event.
Mhm.
And children might come and pick out their, book sales are always a big deal.
Right, yeah, that might be yeah.
I'll forward you his contact.
Okay.
His name is Patrick
Yeah,
Sullivan.
I have
He's a
spoken with
super
him
reasonable
before.
guy, but
Yeah,
you could cross promote various things and that would be nice.
okay.
That's that's very good. Dawn.
Yeah,
So just an idea.
I spread it to my whole book club
Oh,
as soon
good.
as I got it. So I don't know if they came. I'll see them on Wednesday, so.
Okay, lastly, I just wanted to bring to your attention, we did have 383 individuals that we serviced through Elder Affairs last month. And those 383 individuals, we had 1,254 contacts for programs, services, and activities. And as far as the transportation, it was 35 individuals for 175 round trips, and 11 of those on the electric vehicle. So,
You.
you're welcome.
Where are we on these clinics? Is that finished?
Yes.
That really took a lot of space.
Yeah.
You couldn't even do lunches on a couple of those days.
Right. And we wrestled with that, going back and forth as far as whether or not we want to take away the programs for that. But because they're COVID and it affects the seniors, we figured, after talking with the public health department, that it was important enough that for those, it was to the 3 days.
How many did they had? Seemed like they had 10. They just kept going
No,
and
we had
going.
flu shots. They
Yeah,
had flu
then
shots
between
first,
the
and
two
then
of
they
them.
had the COVID clinics.
But I'm just, I'm overly concerned perhaps that the town's going to take advantage of this building. And I
Oh,
don't think
really?
that's quiet.
Really?
And the fact that they could just do that implies that they think this is their building.
Well, it is.
Well, unless it affects senior programs. I don't know if it did affect any senior, it affected lunch.
well, it did.
Affected
It
lunch
affected
program.
strength and balance, and I was a little ticked because
Yeah,
we
well-
start at 11 and the clinic was at 1. I mean, we're out of here by 12.
And they set up,
Lunch.
yeah. I mean, I think we're just being too generous. I don't, I mean, maybe at the end of the day, we let it happen, but I think we got to fight it a bit.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
the
just
luncheon's
wheelie
important,
dilly.
you know, and why did it replace the luncheon?
They took the space.
Why did
needed
they
the whole
need all
entire-
that
They
space?
needed the
They
entire
had the
space.
setup for people to sit for 15 minutes after the COVID shot.
Why couldn't people sit across the hall?
You're right. I don't know. They just,
Or
that's
do-
what I mean. They feel they own the place.
Yeah,
Or do it on a Monday or a Friday? A Monday,
When there's no lunch.
not Friday, right, when
No
there is
lunch,
no
no
lunch.
lunch Monday or Friday.
But there might be another.
Well, I don't know. Like you say, some other programs got affected.
yeah.
I mean, lucky we had decent weather for bocce or we'd be coming indoors and there's no way we could do that
Yeah.
in that room. And of course, bocce's over now. It's too damn cold for me to
Yeah.
get out there. So it's all gonna be
Yeah, but
cornhole from now
I
on.
think you're right, and it concerns me because I feel that
It's a grab.
it's quick. and that's what they're doing. Now, this week, I'm interested because now supposedly they're having some kind of meeting. Is it tomorrow night?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Harvard
and,
bylaw meeting.
Why they're going to come in here and set up? If we're not playing bocce because it's too cold and we want to come in and play you're disturbing something that's been pre-planned.
Mhm.
So I don't agree, and I don't really think we should be working around them. I really don't. The meeting's not until 7 o'clock. Let some of them people come in and put it together themselves.
Well, yeah, their excuse, which I did because we have the same thing over here, is that their people go home at 4 and it all has to be set up by then and all.
Why are they going at 4?
Why do they go home at 4 at 2 on Tuesday?
Up at town hall?
No, they're supposed to be there till 7:30.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The
I did.
custodial staff,
Oh.
because they start every day at like 7 or 6
Yeah,
or something.
basically.
They're the ones who leave early. They
Well-
want to get it done.
Well, they
Yeah,
can
but-
leave it on the sidelines until 4 o'clock then and come in and do it. But I agree with Rich. I think we need to start stepping on them because
They're too, they expect it. They feel entitled, you know, and it's not right.
I was trying to think, the alternative, of course, is where they used to do them at the town hall. And they couldn't
Well,
do that because there's a play going on right now, which, but this is a much nicer setting too.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
I
that's
like
the
it.
thing.
They've
They've,
seniors. I mean, I, as a senior, would prefer to come here than to go to the town hall and know how dirty that place is or whatever, But I agree
Do it
with,
upstairs?
no, not enough
It's a
room.
big, the meeting.
No, yeah,
I
they
know
take
that
up
they had
everything
before was
out there.
big.
How much turnout did they have for this event, the immunization
they
clinic?
didn't have that.
Oh, the immunization clinic.
Oh,
Oh.
They had a lot.
They
They had a
It was
lot.
busy.
Yeah.
Like, I think she did 100.
The first one was over 100 and
Oh, a lot of people.
and then was 75
Do you have to
and
make
they've done
appointments?
60.
Yeah.
To make
Yes.
yeah,
appointments.
you had to make a website.
And
That does move
that's the
right along, but
They do
they
it well.
take up an ungodly amount of space to
Yeah.
to sit for the 15 minutes. And that's where I feel that you could have used that room
Oh.
and
Yeah, that's true. But I think they wanted to watch them too, to see if they passed
put
out.
somebody in there to watch them.
People hadn't gotten their flu shot yet.
and 4 flu shots in October.
Let's hope. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But I am starting to get
Anxious. Yeah.
anxious about it. Really, yeah, I am, because
Who's the one who pushes back though? Who
Pardon
does
me?
that fall on? To
What?
Who does it fall on to push back? Like, to say, hey, we don't agree with this or something, like,
Well,
is that Hannah or
It
is
should be,
that?
it should, so the director should be notifying the board and the chairman should be speaking to the town manager about the disruption in services if they're displacing programming that we already have in place. If they want to
Yeah.
book something a month in advance, then, that's up to us to say, okay, well, we're not going to have this event a month from now at this particular time. But, they also have the Deer Hill School where they could go and do this
Which
as
is-
well. So
Yeah.
we can't, the town manager books this event here, it kind of lets Nancy know, and that seems to be the end of it. I think what we need to do is Nancy needs to state that a
There's a-
request to come in for an event, and we have to see how it's scheduled against the events that we have. And if there's a conflict, we need to have the chairman talk to the town manager or the schedule.
yeah, which I'm happy to do. I had just, well, I didn't realize how many would be coming along, but I was going to say, we always did this beforehand. We could go to Deer Hill, when we would do the emergency stuff. We'd go to Town Hall It's not optimal, but you're not camping there. You just go in, you sit down for 15 minutes and you leave. And if we're interfering with stuff going on here, it's not right.
No,
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know that we are interfering, other than the lunches.
Yeah.
But, you know, with the clinics, everything was shut down. We couldn't do anything because they took all the space. Actually, just going out to play bocce, I had to put a mask on to go through the hall. I said, wait a minute. But, I mean, you know, I got the feeling that they felt entitled.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
They do.
So Deer Hill
so how does the
Deer Hill
process
is
go?
not
Do
available,
they
but the
request the time?
Bay is.
I think they tell us.
No, wait a minute.
They-
Cafeteria.
So what they do is they
They don't
say. that
after
they
school
need it,
anymore.
Like they put
They
in
just
for
always
like
after.
7 o'clock or whatever. But the problem is, then they come early because of the custodial staff. So I have already brought this up to Michelle and to Megan, who's my direct before Michelle. And they know the concerns of the board and the fact that we are not we're unhappy with the fact that, especially with that bocce, how they pushed us aside when they needed to set that up, and there was no way around that. And I asked even to not have this in that room over there, and that was pushed back and said that this is what they're doing.
But
There's no.
It's a very simple thing for you to say, I'm sorry, we have a pre-existing program for that time. End of story.
It's really not the end of the story, though.
Why?
Yeah.
Why though?
Because the town feels that some of the things supersedes what we have, which is why the board needs to stand up and say, this is what we need, this is not going to be acceptable. I did send the bylaws that says that we can't be over, the town can't take over when we have any kind of senior center program. I gave that to Megan, and she was going to bring it to Michelle, and she said she was going to do that as soon as there was more pushback, so.
Oh,
Right.
Oh, that's all it
ladies,
takes, huh?
that's all-
Okay.
I smell an insurrection.
Yeah.
So
We have to
the,
go en masse.
yeah, so
I
the
am-
plan would be to work it out with the folks in the town hall. And then if that doesn't work, then we have to get on the agenda for the select board.
For a select board meeting. Yeah.
That's what we have to do.
Okay.
That is
So,
kind of the last resort was the select board, but it should be worked out with the folks in town hall who are scheduling events here. That they can't displace senior programming.
And we have it in the contract, right? We
Yes.
put it in, went out of our way to say, as long as it doesn't affect senior program.
Ellen
Here's
has
a
the
copy of it.
copy of it.
Just happened to have that, did you?
inner bag of tricks.
Yeah. And they have to understand
Every
that
good
the setup does
consigliere has
interfere.
this.
It's not just the programming.
Age two.
Program,
Yeah.
but it's the setup when they do it that early, that's the
Yeah.
problem.
Paragraph.
And the setup of the event can't. If their event's at 7 PM, and they want to set up at 2 in the afternoon, that doesn't cut it.
That's
So
ridiculous.
Yeah, well, they have done that.
And
That's what they
that's not
do.
even that
They were here before 1 o'clock the last time,
Last Monday.
setting up, and this big setup was put in there.
right. Yeah,
You know.
so it has to be more clear to the folks at the town hall, for sure.
Senior use provision.
New generation of kids that
Well, and I think that has a lot to do
don't know
with it. I think
anything about
that
this.
they are not, I don't think anybody at town hall is aware of the, this little clause that says that they can't supersede our senior programming.
But they should be now.
They should be now, that's what, well, that's when I sent it
Copy of
to
that and send it.
Michelle, and I thought she was going to, not, sent it to Megan to bring it to Michelle, because Michelle is the one who pushed back and said, no,
Clinic was at 1 PM.
she seemed to think that they could do whatever they wanted to. And so Megan was going to bring it up to Michelle, but she said, let's just wait and see if they try to do it again. So,
That's why I asked if it
Well,
was
they-
over.
They're doing it for tomorrow night.
well, we don't know what time. I mean, they know now that they can't come in too early, so I have not been told. So tomorrow, I mean, that's the thing. We need to just make sure, we have to talk to facilities and make sure that they know. And if they push back and say, well, the town hall told me, then that will be the next step.
Okay.
But I'll do that today, just to make sure facilities knows not to come in before 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Oh, because.
Well, we have programs. that
Well,
could
you
run
guys,
till
well, we do, but
7:30, right?
well, how late are you guys going to be here? I mean, it depends on when you guys want to be, the budget players
We go out
indoors.
for-
Two to 5 is on Tuesdays and 1 to 4 is on Thursday.
Okay, so 5 o'clock, I'll tell them they can't.
Yeah, and we're here till 4,
So
so.
from a practical standpoint, the Deer Hill cafeteria at 1 o'clock probably is still finishing lunch service, right?
Yeah.
But 5
Well, they
o'clock,
never did it before, until school was out.
so at 5 o'clock, there is nothing there. They used to use at Deer Hill for after school every single day till 7 p.m.
Who?
The children used it
Oh,
for after
okay. I
school
figured once it
care.
was shut down, it was shut
But
down.
they changed that after school care program to a different campus. So that is available after school, the cafeteria at 5, 4 or 5. So just so you know what other space, I mean, I don't know what other spaces.
I mean, that's what we
exist.
used to do it.
Yeah, and we used to have the emergency.
Yeah,
Well, that's a really small space. The basement, the emergency response area?
no, but we
No.
used to organize all of that when we had the emergency response team would go ahead and put together the clinics.
Yeah.
Oh, in the cafeteria
schools.
or in your
In the schools.
emergency area?
I don't know where the cafeteria is, but the big room, I imagine that is.
That's
the
a cafeteria.
Yeah, that's where we used to do it.
Well, there's also a gym, but this time
No,
of
we
year,
didn't use the
you
gym.
can't get gym.
Yeah, we
It's
didn't use the
basketball
gym.
nonstop. Um,
But I'm sure to the people who do it, this is a much more advantageous place to be. I would rather be here than at the school. But, they just think they willy-nilly, yeah, we'll use this spot.
Well, I'd appreciate it if you could just do that. And then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could
And
play
I'm-
bocce indoors and that'd teach them.
I will
Set
say-
things up.
Yeah.
I will say that the building is more accessible for elders.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wheelchairs
I know.
and so forth.
Well, the schools are too, though.
no,
Not
it's
as
quite
accessible.
tricky.
Really?
To get in and out of the cafeteria door is not
Mm.
an advantageous door. This would be, and it is an immunization clinic.
Yeah.
And
we
therefore,
used to do
many
it
of
there,
the
and I didn't
participants
have any
would be
problems.
seniors, many.
And occasionally it's fine. I just think it was excessive this year. Obviously flu and COVID. but
Well,
they just kept
because we
going.
missed so many
was
lunches
just
that
gonna
really
say.
Well, it's
struck
just
you.
that,
Yeah.
we just did it for the COVID clinics because they needed the whole space. When it was the flu. it
Well,
did
we
not
couldn't
affect
use
all
it,
of us.
I'm sure we can work around the setup for the selectmen's meeting. We've already checked that out. So we could coexist with that, but the clinics just killed us. And the problem is, especially, and in all programs, if people come and they realize the program's not happening, they may not come back.
That's
No.
true.
I know that happened in the cribbage. There was some issue over that too.
Yep.
And people just stopped coming.
I met two of them out in the parking lot
Huh?
that just said they weren't going to come back. They drove all the way down for cribbage and they just weren't going to bother with it. And that's too bad because
Yeah.
we have set things and.
Yeah, and especially seniors. I mean, if they come and it's not happening, they feel, well, I'm gonna, the hell with this. I'm not gonna come
It's,
back.
for a lot of seniors, it's a big deal to get out and get your
Yeah,
ride
yeah,
and do
yeah,
that
Yeah,
stuff.
it's organization and,
Yeah.
yeah, especially if, you got the whole day planned around that, so.
So, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize how much, I did notice that the lunches were not happening.
Yeah.
But I wasn't clear on why or how at that point. And do you think some behind the scenes talking to the selectmen? Or do you think we should just wait and see what happens
Well,
and
is
then?
it
I would-
worth just talking to Mary Goodwin? I mean, she was the one with the clinics.
Yeah, but she's directed by
Yeah,
Yeah, the
she's
town.
not the one
Yeah,
who
PM.
involved. I would not sit around and wait for Michelle to rule on this. I mean, why do you have to go through this person before you get to Michelle?
And note, we're going to do for tomorrow, where I'm going to talk to facilities and make sure that they know that they can't set up until 5 o'clock. And if they push back and say, we've been told we have to, I'll alert you guys and then,
Yeah,
You guys
I
can-
mean, it sounds
We can
like
grab
you
our
have to go right to
pitchforks.
Yeah.
Michelle, and isn't she Chris Senior's right-hand gal? or something?
yeah, she's.
All right.
Which one?
Michelle is the assistant
the
town
new
manager.
assistant town manager.
So why didn't,
So much.
yeah, I didn't know we had one.
for what?
So many new positions.
We're a town of 8,000 people, not 80,000.
So I think Michelle is the target, not,
So did Michelle get the info?
we don't know.
No, because when I brought this up to Megan after the last time, she said, okay, I talked to Michelle, and basically it was about the the bocce and this machine here that I wanted out of there. And Michelle said that's the end of the story. This is what we're doing. We're leaving this in here. And so.
And when it gets broken, whose fault is it gonna be?
This is mine.
So, and I work for the town. So, so when I talked to Michelle, Megan, excuse me, who is my direct,
Report.
And what's her position?
she is the community services leader. And so we have veterans, elder affairs, library, and safe harbor all under Megan. So I approached her and then I said, we do have this in writing. And she said, I don't think the town people, maybe other than Chris, knows this. And so I sent her a copy of that and she said, okay, well, right now I'm going to leave it so that if it comes up again, she says, then we will produce this or something. So that's,
It's
come up
down
again.
the road.
Then the other piece of this is are we making it obvious that our programs aren't being utilized by saying, yeah, okay, we're available in the afternoon whenever you want to set your stuff up? I mean, that implies to me that we're not
Yeah,
using
using
our own
ours.
space.
No, they're not asking.
They're not asking.
Shut down at
That's
4,
true.
pretty much 4 anyway.
Well, not on Tuesdays.
Well, Tuesday's the exception then, but all the other days, which is again, another conversation we've been having for the last couple of years is why can't we extend some of the
Right.
programming? But they're the ones who mandated pretty much that our day ends at 4, right? Is that?
well, I don't think that they would have a problem. If we said we're going to have like a program on Thursday at 5:00, we could do that. It's just as far as getting, we've had programs in the past
Yeah.
at 5:00 and that weren't really well attended. So, and we don't have staffing for something like that. We would have to have flex staffing, which we could certainly do if it was going to be something that was worth a while to do that. But right now, the day ends at 4:00 because of.
Yeah.
The
so
town
that's just
hall
saying
ends at
that's
4
sort of
o'clock.
Understood, like 4:00, everything's pretty much done here. They can have access from 4:00 on.
Correct. Right, they
And-
can.
And the evening programs, Paul and I were at the one last Monday and it was not a heavy crowd,
Well, that was when you couldn't get the audio to work?
Yeah, initially.
Oh, wow.
So, but a lot of these town programs aren't even, like the, forums and stuff. A handful of people show up for it.
I was just gonna say, there weren't a lot of people because I was watching it. And plus this thing
It
worked
was
terribly.
pretty much
Yeah.
all
Oh, it
the
did it?
board
Oh, it was
members,
awful.
just the
Yeah.
board members and.
And I was, it could have gone to a smaller room by,
Yeah,
like far,
that's what I'm
gone to a
saying.
smaller
And
room.
even I would think
It didn't
those
need to
clinics,
have
I mean, I
big
haven't.
room.
Well, and then the technical problems they had, if they did it at the studio over at the high school, everything's there. They wouldn't have had the technical
Yeah.
delays that they had.
The only thing I'm really a little nervous about, I'm not happy about, fine, we'll let that go this week and see what happens. But I would like to make sure that Michelle has a copy of that letter. I don't know why it's stopping at Megan. That's bothering me. Michelle and another one needs to go to Christina
Yeah.
so that they're aware. I don't mind doing it. I mean, but it's.
No, I can do it.
Yeah.
I was not aware that they weren't aware that that was the deal. And
Well,
we've
they're
been,
probably aware. They just.
I was just gonna say,
Wake
it's
up
like,
and spill.
and we've been to court, we've been to the Attorney General's office twice on these issues.
Really?
They are,
Yeah.
yes, and they got thrown out with prejudice.
Means they come back again.
No, it means that, well, with prejudice means don't come back here.
Don't come back.
Don't you dare come back
They can
here.
go to another, okay.
Yeah.
No, it went twice.
Oh,
I think that for every year that we have the meetings, the start of the year, we should probably file
refresh them.
with the minutes.
Yep.
and stuff.
So I just want to be clear, I believe Megan told Michelle that we had the first right of refusal, so to speak, that it had to be senior programs above the town, but she has not sent this to her. So she
Yeah.
did verbally say that, and she said Michelle was unaware of that.
Well, Michelle needs to have a copy.
Yeah, she
well,
needs
I mean,
to.
I
She's
think that's
assistant
the top. I think Chris has had his eye on this building since it was made.
since he visited
I'm
the
afraid
first
10
time.
years from now, there won't be a senior center. This will be the excess town hall,
Annex.
the annex, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I've always felt that way. As people have known, and I've been very verbal about it, but I'm too old. I just,
You're not too old. You're not too old.
You still
No,
have
I
fight
just
your
want to
tail.
make
Let's go.
if, in my way of thinking, if they have a current copy of it, and Michelle has a current copy of it, and Mr. Senior is reminded, and he has a printed copy of it, then there's no reason for anything to happen. It should go
But
the
I
way it
think
goes.
we have to also publish whatever programs, and we can't just say, you can't come. It's got to be, we may not have some other program going on, so it may be.
That's okay,
You
if
know,
there's no other
right.
program going on, but if there is a program and it is scheduled for a program, then there shouldn't be any issue whatsoever. It should just be, go find yourself someplace else to go.
they have plenty of space, not as pretty as this, though.
That's right.
Well,
Not
I
as
don't
friendly
really
as
care
this.
about that. I just want to make sure that the building's being used the way it should be used.
Yes,
Like
of
Pooh was
course.
saying, geez, I think I like that country over there.
Yeah,
Let me see
just
what-
a little
Let me
one.
just grab a little.
Took a real left turn
That's
there.
right.
So
Gotta
to
get
speak.
politics.
So to
Oh my
speak.
God, no, please.
All right, enough said, I guess.
Okay. Okay, now, Director, you want to continue?
Done. Sorry,
Okay, so the other thing I just wanted to bring up and is that I'm going to be applying for a grant and it's through the it's a grant again through the state apparently. I don't know which department right off the top through Mass Councils on Aging. And what it is, it's about $8,000 to be the talk of the town. And what we were thinking of doing is to kind of like what Jim had mentioned months ago about doing like a town-wide, all the households in town, a publication to kind of get everybody to know about what we do in town,
Yes.
not just the seniors, but the younger younger families. So this is just a kind of a brief one that Liza had made, and I'll pass it along a couple of years ago. And I'm thinking something like that, but I wanted everybody's input on, and maybe especially Jim's, because of an idea about doing a bulletin and who we could go to, because now if we could get this grant and I can write it out saying that we need somebody to publish it and have it really nice, and so that people aren't just going to toss it and really look at it and maybe keep it in the in a drawer, so that if they ever find that they can do it for their grandparents or their in-laws are coming to town, they'll have the information and they can look at it and say, give us a call and want some more information. So that's what the grant is all about. It's again called Becoming the Talk of the Town, getting your community to know about your COA, promotion of the COA as the front door, educating your community on what is a COA, and educating your community on the programs and services that your COA provides.
I
So,
think that's a very good
Mm.
idea.
Perfect. It's just tailor-made for what we were talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
exactly.
Oh,
perfect.
I love it.
Also, I did want everybody to know that we are doing the Pops again this year, and it's sold out.
Yep.
So we're thrilled.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I did make copies, Michael. I didn't sure if you missed that to look over on that side too.
If you have content, I don't see it, but it seems so, I still won't forget. We had a warming and charging station when the power goes out. And if that's something you wanted to add to the flyer for Talk of the Town?
Yeah.
Because that was such a nice.
Oh, the cooling and warming center, yeah.
Yeah.
It
that's nice.
seems like we've been losing power more than ever. I was working on my generator this morning for no reason, and it reminded me that was such a nice service, and it was so well received. So that might be a feature or
Yeah,
service.
and
Yeah.
do a real cross section.
Yes.
Yeah, and much needed, given how many storms were,
Right, that we had.
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. I wish it were the case.
Something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really think that that might do well
And-
for us.
I definitely would, the warming or cooling.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful time. We chatted with people and they
I heard.
batteries. if you need
Yeah,
batteries.
yeah, and you could do, and it was,
Kids
I've
really enjoyed it.
monitored those several times and they are great.
Work. Not everybody has generators. Not everybody.
We don't have, we went to a hotel last year a couple times.
Yeah, I mean,
Could have probably bought a generator, would you spend it on that?
Well, no, we didn't actually. And we thought, given our age and everything, it's $10,000.
I go back and forth about it too. Yeah, it's a lot.
I can go to a hotel
Yeah.
and everything. It's gonna take a lot of money. I mean, we don't go fancy.
Right.
When you.
Yeah.
And we went to one last year, or we were looking for one. And so we were out in Braintree, there's a bunch of them over there. We went, we're open. We have no heat and we have no electricity. Welcome to come. And
Pay us.
the price is cheap. I couldn't believe they said, then we found one that was,
That's funny.
had some heat, yeah.
That's funny.
When you update this, rather than flu shots, it should read immunization clinics, because there are so many different.
Yeah.
COVID and flu. and God knows what the future holds. Or you can spell it out, COVID/flu.
I'd say immunizations.
Yeah. What's that flyer the library sends out? Do you have any idea? Quarterly, I think.
Yeah, they do do a
That's
quarterly.
very
Yeah, they do a
Yeah,
quarterly,
I
it's a
can-
nice one too.
Yeah.
They are nice. I always read them.
I do too, yeah.
Do we, on a side issue, do we have seniors complaining about Zooms? Or complaining about they can't get in the meetings and things like that, as far as, many seniors obviously don't have computers. I don't know if you would even hear about something like that.
I think that we would hear about it, but not now. Nowadays, like prior to when it was, that's all that was going on, we did get called and saying, I can't get on Zoom, or what do I do if I don't know how to do Zoom? I don't have a computer. But since the pandemic and things are more hybrid or in person, texts about it.
Okay. That may be a question for the social worker.
Yeah, what are you suggesting? I mean, I
I don't know.
I have people talk to me about it.
Yeah, I don't know whether, I don't know what the solution is, other than perhaps a room set up so that people can come here or come to the town hall or come to the library.
A lot of
and do
times,
that.
I wonder if, are seniors aware that there are a lot of things that are on the TV? A lot of the meetings, you don't have to go on Zoom.
Yeah.
You just go to channel
Watch
9.
it and see.
Yeah.
Oh, on 143?
And we do have an iPad too that the social worker or the outreach worker would bring with them if somebody or give to somebody if they needed to have like a medical
Oh,
a
teleconference.
telehealth or
Telephone,
something.
yeah.
That we're,
And I don't know if it's a problem. I don't know if people are just accepting it or, whether we could look, looking at the worst case, a discrimination suit where elders can't participate in town events because they just don't
They're
have
old.
the technical capability. But then again, you get into discrimination, I don't know. I'm into my Putin,
Is
my
tech-
Putin senior day.
Do we still have tech support services? Don't we have a weekly?
Bridget from the library comes once a month.
And so
Yeah.
maybe that's something we could list, because that would seem well received.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, don't you do some social work mass health interface? I'm not sure if I saw it.
That's,
Shine program?
Shine, yeah.
Oh, there it is. Sorry. People might not know what Shine is. My mass health patients don't.
I was interested last week. I saw
If they know, they know, but they don't know, they really don't know. So maybe mass health interface or mass health, whatever, networking. I don't know what word. I'm not coming up with the right word.
I was reading the library flyer and I saw that the author of Lessons in Chemistry was going to do an author talk. And I sent it out quick to my book group because we'd been talking about it. And then I just had in my mind, like they used to do the Arthur Talks, and then I found out that it was all virtual. And people went to the library to see her, and it was all virtual. But one of them was smart enough to say, you know, we came for this. She and her husband had come, and they said,
Set
oh,
it
you
up.
can do it on the iPad, and they
Sure.
set her up. And so they would have done that for anybody if they
Yeah.
mentioned why they were there, you know. But I didn't know that was available. So
And students do that all the time. They have virtual authored meetings with like a screen
yeah,
and an author talks to a classroom. And that never would have happened 5 years ago.
no,
Yeah.
no.
But apparently students respond to that, I guess. I don't know. I just thought,
Because they're glued to those.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just we
That's
just-
strange.
They're not home.
They're not.
But
Okay.
I was just gonna say, I think this is a little difficult to read with all this print on both sides.
Yeah,
You know.
if you did it as big as the library one, though.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah, well, this is just a
Yeah, a
sample,
sample, yeah.
but
Yeah,
we'll
The
definitely,
idea, yeah.
Yeah.
And it would be easier to spread out.
Do you have one from the library?
is it the library or the rec center?
it's the
Library.
The library center.
Yeah.
No, Rec Sense, a
I don't know
book.
if I
Yeah,
still
Rex
have
has
it,
a
but I
book,
could get
too.
another one.
Yeah, the rec, that's what I'm familiar
That's
with.
twice a year. The library is, they do it quarterly.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It lists
Yeah,
all
it's
the
very good.
programs.
Actually, mine's sitting on the desk right now.
She added some of our stuff on there as well.
Yes,
this-
yeah,
this time,
yeah,
which
it's sort
is
of
good.
a collaborative
Yeah.
thing, which is good.
But if it's okay, I'm going to go see if Patricia can come in and say hi
Okay.
to the social
Okay.
worker, so everybody gets to meet her.
Careful.
This is a social worker? Is-
Yes.
Is Stephanie no
Stephanie,
longer?
oh, no, she
Oh, no, she left.
Is that-
She works for the town now,
Oh, she
We're-
did?
Oh, yeah.
not with elders.
And it's
Oh, really?
time and she doesn't have to come in any day and she's got really what she wants.
What does the town would do with the social worker?
Um,
It should be up.
Well, I mean,
Just another
there
staff
there were
member.
other mental health issues in town besides seniors.
Yeah, and this.
I know.
Up to 59, not
All the
up.
workers are grown, they need
Wanna
more
work.
space. We know where there's space.
I never saw so many workers in all my life. I
Oh,
just-
yeah.
Dan?
Morning.
What's up, Dan?
Hours, yeah.
Hi, Dan.
Hello, yes.
How are you?
Are you cooking?
Next to this guy's got a cold.
I know, and he says he's better.
And look at you right next to him.
He didn't tell us.
I'm way better, Dan. Way better.
You don't look any better than you were yesterday.
This is as good as it gets. Never gonna get any better.
Oh, wow. Well, good luck.
No offense,
I didn't-
Jim.
Should be in a few minutes.
Oh, good.
Just finished. She's talking.
2 weeks, you shouldn't be contagious.
Oh, I can pull that over. as
So
well.
what about Thanksgiving? Are the dinner? Is that
The head of the-
under control? No, Diane,
Proceeding apace.
decorations.
Yeah.
I'm peeling potatoes. What?
I said Thanksgiving is
feeling?
proceeding apace,
At base. Okay, I gotta talk
Cooking
to Dan
tomorrow.
tomorrow and Wednesday.
Yeah. Wednesday.
Do you need any more help?
I think Dan's got things pretty much under control.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you hear
actually, they said they're going, you
come running.
set up on Wednesday.
Set up on, we're setting up on Wednesday. Yes.
Ah,
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
12.
And they come down Wednesday.
ooh,
12 pies.
Wow.
Down.
All apple?
Holy,
No, it's Mary Ernst who's doing it. I'm just doing.
Might have a
it.
Medicaid program.
Ah,
Does she do it?
Okay.
Hopefully they
At
can't.
her home.
Wow.
I'm hoping they can.
This Wednesday. I was gonna say the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, but it's our Thanksgiving. It's not
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
the real Thanksgiving.
So I might just bring
Where
it
is
down.
it? How far do you have to drive to?
Randolph,
Oh,
not so bad. Hopefully they're going to focus close to the holidays. And it's a project, it's a program that I think is going away. I think it should go away because I don't think it's, fraud and abuse has been picked up by Medicare and they're doing a lot of good stuff about it. So, but that's just my own personal.
How are we doing on the website? Are we ready to move forward on
oh,
that?
that's another tricky thing.
you had to bring up the website.
Well, I mean, we're supposed to have it in September, right?
Right.
We're-
Well,
now
Two
we're
years
freezing.
ago.
Yeah,
Next
right.
week, next week.
It's up. It's just still a work in progress because it's up and the framework is on there, but now it's up to Richie. He's in charge of editing and changing and adding to it. And sometimes, so I have a folder this thick of the changes and edits and additions that I want him to add. But every time I try to sit down with him and say, okay, we're going to add this, or we don't want this here, he can't access it. So he gets blocked out for some reason. His permissions are being blocked. And then he'll call Megan, who is the contact for the website, and she will release it, and he'll go in and do something, and then he can't get back in. So it's just been back and forth like that.
Good.
So we're about, a work in progress. It's
The town didn't buy enough licenses. They have to
I don't know what it's the permissions, and why it wouldn't be just released once and be enough. So I don't know, maybe that's it, and why I have no idea there. She doesn't even understand why once she gives him the permissions that it keeps on messing up. So, but he was out all last week, and I talked to him about it about the middle of the week before again, and that's when he had reached out to her. So I don't know whether or not she had responded while he was away or what, but it is being worked on regularly, but it's being stalled.
Is there enough pushback in the town to get it to happen? And we're the only ones interested?
Well, the town did their own website renew. I don't know if you guys have been on the
Oh,
town
yeah.
website.
This is all up and running.
Yeah?
This is running.
Yeah, ours is running. So if you go on www.cohasseteldersaffairs.com,
It's there.
it's there.
Yeah.
But it's just sometimes the information, like if you click on programs, it comes up to Executive Office of Elder Affairs,
Yep.
that kind of
Right.
That's what it did to me.
silliness, yeah. Hi, come right
Hello.
in.
Hi, everybody.
So this is Patricia Faletra. She's our new social worker. Have a seat, Patricia.
Hi, Patricia.
She's been in cafe. Today is an odd day for her. She's usually. Paul Kears is meeting with us virtually. I thought maybe we could go around the room. You can ask her questions. She could tell you a little bit about her background, and while she's here, we've got her on a Monday, so.
It's unusual. I'm not usually going to be here on a Monday, but
Right.
I can be if you need it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
So,
Oh, I'm Diana Karcher and member of the board here and, what- you.
no, that's all.
Yeah,
Like,
and I,
just
you know,
a face with the name.
enjoyed some of the programs also.
Oh,
So
nice.
there's
Yeah.
some of that. I have a background in gerontology, so it's fun for me.
Good. That's
In your
awesome.
Medicare stuff that you do.
Yeah, and I do, I work for the government.
So can I pick your brain about some of that stuff
Yeah.
sometime? Okay.
They,
Yeah.
I work for something called SMP, which is the Senior Medical Patrol. And it's headed up by the government. It's really not a state thing.
Uh-huh.
And it's for fraud and abuse
Okay.
and work with elders for their insurance and what they have and how to go about it, that type of thing.
And which kind to get and not get?
No, that's
No?
Shine.
Oh, that-
Usually,
okay.
yeah, usually what I'll do is say to them, I'm more than happy to give them an outline, but when it comes right down to it,
It's their choice.
it's your choice,
Yeah.
or go see your Shine counselor, because
Okay.
they can do the ins and outs of things like the Advantage program right now, folks. You really have to watch it, the Medicare Advantage
Mhm.
programs. So that's the kind of thing I do. And then in the summertime, I run the swim center.
Oh, wow. Good for you. Thank you.
Hopefully that's over.
I'm Taffy Nothnagel.
Hi,
I'm on
Deb.
the board here, and I'm also chairman of the Housing Authority, 60 Elm Street, which you
Okay.
probably have heard
I'm
about.
gonna get over there
Yep.
soon.
Yep, good. I'd love to take you over there and meet our director.
Okay.
Let's arrange to do that together.
Okay, great.
That's it. Involved in fitness programs here and other things.
My name's Jim Murphy. Hi, Patricia.
Hi, Jim.
I'm a cook and a complainer.
Oh.
I
You're
do,
supposed to complain about your cooking.
sometimes
That happens,
that
yeah.
happens. I do the lunches here. We're doing Thanksgiving dinner here.
Oh, you're the guy that's doing
With Dan and I, yeah.
Oh,
He works with Dan.
Yeah.
So you
Dan
might
Valangas.
see Dan Valangas in the cafe, and
okay.
but Jim is his right-hand man. And he does his own cooking for us throughout the month. That gets a lot of people in the doors.
This is a pretty cool place. I've probably been here about 5 years or so, but I felt like this was such a well-run operation. I wanted to be part
Part
of
of
it.
it.
So it's
It's gone
been,
downhill since then.
it's,
Became a
It's-
full member.
life is full of disappointments. We all have to deal with it, but this hasn't been a huge one. It's been very enjoyable. I like it.
Well, I've only been here a short time and so far I've been very excited.
Great.
Each time I come in, gets more exciting.
Uh-huh.
I wish I could remember everybody's names though.
Yes.
It's gonna always
Yeah.
fail.
It's all right.
Just afterwards.
Okay.
right.
Good morning, Patricia. I'm
Hi.
Elaine Coyne.
Hi, Elaine.
Welcome aboard. It's great that you're here. If we can be of any help, obviously speak up. And I concur with Jim's assessment. This is a gem in the town. We're very fortunate to have this
And very protective.
facility and protective of it. Exactly.
Good morning. I'm Sarah Livermore. I am a nurse practitioner. I've been on this board for a few years. I don't know,
Been for
4 or 5. And I also serve on the board for Safe Harbor. No, not the board. Sorry, the community liaison, something or other. And they have 2 boards. And also I work full time with the SCO program, which is Senior Care Options for Tufts Health Plan
Okay,
with Mass Health. I keep low income seniors in their homes.
nice.
And I serve the South Shore. So I have a couple Cohasset
There's
patients.
a lot of things going on.
We have 2 teenagers.
Oh, well.
And we lost soccer this weekend.
Oh,
yeah.
Semifinals, it was a great game. They
Yeah.
lost 2-1
oh, no.
against South Hadley, but it was a lovely season. I
Was
think
that
the
with
girls.
Cohasset
Yeah.
soccer?
Cohasset
Yeah,
soccer.
boys, yeah, girls are still going.
So we sent football, field hockey, boys and girls soccer to semifinal state championship.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Great, very exciting.
Very good.
It's a fun time to have
Hi,
teenagers.
Trish.
Hi.
I want to hear about you.
Helena?
Yeah, I want to hear about you.
Oh. I'm a senior also. How's that?
It's a good start.
Well, welcome.
I retired last October from the VA. I worked there for 15
Oh.
years.
Oh, did you?
The one in West Roxbury.
West
What did you do for them?
I was the inpatient social worker for
Uh-huh.
surgery and medicine, mostly
Nice.
surgery.
Wow.
So I probably could have a nursing degree with how much I learned.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you people understand what cabbage is when somebody says they had a cabbage. No? Okay. Like coronary artery
Oh.
Oh.
bypass graft.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, the first time I heard that, I'm writing CABBH.
Yeah, right.
I've come a long way. So I was working at St. Elizabeth's for a while in the psychiatric department because I didn't have hospital experience and I wanted to get into the VA. And before that, I worked at the Nashua Street Jail for 5 years as the director of social services. And before that, I was working at BC and getting my degree. I went back to college older. I was in my 40s. Actually, my son got his undergraduate when I got my graduate degree.
Wow, great.
Oh, that's
So, yeah. So in my mind, I'm still only about 55.
Yay.
Glad to have
I
you.
have 3 children, 6 grandchildren, and my grandson, this is so exciting. Don't usually brag and nobody even knows who he is, but his team just won the national state championship for hockey. And
Wow.
not national, state championship, and they're going to the nationals.
Oh, all right.
That's
What town?
Yeah, what time?
And the kids come from all over.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's
a
a
travel.
club, yeah,
hockey.
yeah, 15 years old, they come from Connecticut,
Wow.
New Hampshire, and
And you're a
hockey.
good mom because you travel everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah, my daughter is every weekend traveling.
My neighbor across the way, he's also in, I think he's 14,
Yeah,
and she's gone all the time. He has 1 day off a week.
yes,
Friday.
and school and hockey, and he
Yeah.
says he loves it, keeps him structured, so good for him at 15, keeps him out of trouble.
Yeah.
where do you live, Patricia?
I live in Cohasset now, I just moved down here in April.
Oh.
Welcome.
I lived in West Roxbury, right next to the VA.
Oh,
So
That was
we
nice.
go where you
Yeah,
are. That's good.
Right next door.
So I live off of Beechwood Street,
great.
Oh, where?
Hillside Drive.
Oh, I know.
God's country.
Yeah,
John and I live in Wheelwright.
we live in Wheelwright Farm
Okay.
up the street.
My partner is Dan Duffy, if anybody knows Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's all about me.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Beth Tar.
Ellen didn't tell us anything.
Oh, that's how she skates by.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a good try.
You can tell her.
Well, we've talked already. Yeah, right? We've talked many
All
times.
right.
Yeah.
Many times.
I'm the
I'm sorry, I missed your first.
Beth Tarpey.
Beth Toppy.
Yeah, and I'm the liaison with the Affordable Housing Committee. And I also volunteer with the Friends, doing the cafe, and I do medical driving, the fish driver. So yeah, same thing. I kind of got on this board years ago and slowly have been like looking forward to every time I come in because there's such a nice group of them.
Nice, yeah.
I'm Rich Hines. We met
We
before.
met, yeah.
I also, I'm a retired electrical engineer. I spend most of my winters when it's a little warmer than Cohasset. But I'm also commander of the Veterans VFW in Cohasset. And it was funny because my father used to be chief of supply at the VA at JP.
Okay.
So we lived at 218 South Huntington Ave because it was part of the VA. So I'm very involved with, as a user of the VA. I'm very impressed with the VA, by the way. I use Bedford all the time. I think they're fantastic. When we talked before, you said you were used to talking to veterans. Now I understand why. We have I think we have like 350 veterans in Cohasset. So it's unusual for a town this size. Most of them don't do anything. Most of them don't go out of their houses for some reason. Or if the younger ones are constantly working. And of course, they've got kids. So the kids are dragging them off to all the different sporting events. So it's very difficult to get all the veterans together. Paul's a veteran as well. So is Jim. But it's an unusual situation in this town, just because there's so many veterans that are behind the scenes, way behind the scenes. So, but someone heavily involved with veterans as well. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And somehow, anyway, I left a phone call to Philip Mahoney and waiting for a call back. I'd like to get in touch with him and see.
Well, his office hours have been very bizarre the past 6 months or so, because I guess he's only part-time. That's part of the problem. So
Right, but I
his
understand
regular
from
job.
some people that he does call back, he does get back to people, so I'm waiting.
Well, he used to have office hours here on Tuesday evenings,
Uh,
which now I think are only by appointment. And we
Okay.
used to have a meeting here, a coffee meeting where we would get veterans together and just, because Jim's been to a couple of those. But even that has stopped. So everything's in flux here, so.
Well, anything I can do,
Yeah.
let me know.
I'm Tana Carlson. I chair this board, and I'm also on the board of the Social Service League, and that's pretty much what I do.
Which is a lot from what I heard.
Yeah.
The social service board does a lot for you.
So anyway, I've been around on this board for,
Sorry.
God, years and years.
Yeah.
I can't even remember. And how long were you here, Paul? Because
It's about 11 years now, I think, yeah.
yeah, so I've been here about 12 years. So I'm here for questions. I'm a historian of the building and the transitions that the Elder Affairs has made here in Cohasset, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, Diana too. So
Nice to meet you.
you'll see me around.
Here, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah.
You're
Good
on.
morning, welcome. I'm sure you have been about town already, so you've got to meet a lot of different folks. I've been on Elder Affairs for about 11 years now, and I'm also the chairman of the Affordable Housing Steering Committee, and I'm also a sewer commissioner in town. And as Rich mentioned, a Marine Corps veteran as well, so welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for your service too. Thank you for your service.
Well, we had a question that came up that you might be able to answer. With elders, is anybody complaining about access to meetings, Zoom problems, or not having computers and
Access
feeling
to
left out?
meetings that are here.
Yeah, I mean, the town in
Or
general.
anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody feel like they're left out because they don't have computers?
I haven't heard that yet, but I
Okay.
haven't been here long enough to really have anybody know who I am to call me and say anything to me. I don't know.
I mean, I would imagine you're going to end up, if you haven't already, you're going to end up dealing with people who feel left out.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of people that feel left out
Yeah.
for a lot of different reasons too. And whether they are left out or not, they may just feel left
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Right.
Sometimes I feel left out.
Oh, Jim.
Oh, Jim.
Tried to
Oh,
change
Jim.
So, are you talking about people that don't have access to know what's going on here?
Well, in the old days, people,
They're not on Facebook.
right, yeah, and whether or not they feel isolated because of that, where everybody else is, and if the default is, it'll be a Zoom, or there's no, in the old days, 5 years ago, people would come to meetings because that was the only way to find out what was going on. And then, of course, COVID hit and everything stopped and we went to Zooms. And a lot of people never got into that. And a lot of elders, and I'm just wondering if they're feeling lost.
I don't know. That's a good question to think about. I personally don't like Zoom, and I think a lot of people don't like Zoom. But then there's people who don't want to leave their house and still want to know what's going on.
Yeah, right.
But do they have access to it when they even know how to use it?
Right.
There's a lot of education that goes around a lot of this stuff. I mean, most of us, I'm sure, have a difficult time with even the new remote controls. I mean, you need to find a 4-year-old that can show you how to start a TV these days.
Yeah.
It gets really complicated. And everything's a password and yeah. So I don't know if people feel left out, but that's a good question. And maybe we should have a survey about that.
Well, we've talked here about different ways of communicating with people, with seniors about what goes on here. And I would imagine the whole town's in the same boat because everything is just defaulted to the computer now.
No, well, we send out the newsletter. There's a newsletter every month with the calendar.
Yeah.
There's
But
a lot of information on
We
there.
do, yeah, there is, but we do find out actually now that since all the vaccination clinics have been, you have to register online. So we do find a lot of people who are calling us saying either A, they are unfamiliar with they don't use the computer at all, and can we help them? Or B, they use a computer, they check their email, but they don't feel comfortable like registering for anything. So we do a lot of that, and that would open it up to other things, I think. If someone called and said, I can't get a flu shot because I can't get register, we assist them with that. And that's a good way to it opening the door and let them know there's other stuff that we're available to do. And I think they kind of feel good that they just can make one phone call and we're just like right on there.
Is there any opportunity for computer classes to have a big-
Well, we do. We have some, I guess the library comes in occasionally and we'll set up,
Monthly.
I don't know, is it on demand or is it?
She comes in monthly on the first Wednesday of every month from 9 to 11, and it's walk-in.
It's a walk-in with your issue though.
Yeah,
We
it's
don't
walk-in
provide a
with your
computer for them to try to do something on. It's like you have a problem with your cell phone.
Yeah.
You come in and they try to help you.
But I think if it was going to be like a training, like a computer training, it would have to be done by the library because they have more than one
Yeah.
computer to do
Yeah.
that for people.
But I think that's something that should be thought about, actually.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we had done that a few years ago.
And actually, again, this is where I think I mentioned the intergenerational, the high school kids. They're great assets to helping elderly, 50-year-olds,
Right.
how to even use the computers. Because yes, they're so quick, and sometimes it's just a little trick that you need to
That's
know.
what it is all the
Somebody
time.
shows you. That might be another thing for the high school where the kids to like set up.
Yeah.
Well, didn't we have
Had
high
that.
school
We
kids?
had that.
Yeah.
We had
One of
high
them
school kids
hooked
come.
my cell phone up to the car, one night,
Yeah.
a high school kid for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be tricky.
Crazy kids.
So I don't know, those are thoughts and things. That's a great question.
Would you
too.
be going out at all to people that are at home? or
I'm
staying?
kind of hoping that people can't be able to come in here. I'm gonna get to, again, I'm only here 15 hours.
Right.
So it's gonna be hard for me to,
Yeah,
but like when I worked at the hospital, I had 3 units that I was covering. So you'd say I probably had like 65 patients every day. I knew who the 65 patients were, but did I service 65 patients every day? Of course not. So it's prioritizing. And then, that's what I'm hoping that I do with my 15 hours. You have so many people that belong here. Who can I reach out to sometimes the first one that's easiest to solve, you get rid of that problem. But then there's gonna be somebody that might take couple of weeks of the time. So I don't,
Yeah.
I'm open to whatever I can do. I'm even open to more hours. I would do it for free. But
Even better.
it's a grant.
Don't say that, don't
This
say.
is being recorded, Patricia. Delete, delete, delete.
You know, I came back to work because I had to have a purpose. And retiring for a year, not having a sense of purpose. I had been to Aruba, I went to Scotland, I went to Ireland. I want to see a whole lot more, but I don't know. There was just no reason to get up and
Yeah.
get out. you
Yeah.
know? So I'm excited to be here.
This is a good reason.
So what days are you working usually?
Right now,
What's your
it's going to
plan?
be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesday from 1 to 6, Thursday 11 to 4, and Friday 8:30. Gotta go. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, Sarah, thank you for
Bye.
coming.
And Friday 8:30 to 12:30. But, you know, like I'm in today because I have a wedding in Pennsylvania. So I'll
Yeah.
try to make up for the
Yeah.
days that I can't come in. Yeah.
No, that's good.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank
So
you.
nice to
Very
meet you
nice.
all and
You too.
let's try. Donna?
What's your last name again?
Diana.
Okay.
Faletra, Faletra. It's
Do we
musical.
have her hours on Vista and stuff like that?
It is not in Vista, but
Yeah.
we should put it in there.
And so, I'll get in touch with you about, we could try to arrange, probably not this week. but
Sure.
To meet with Colleen.
Can we go around with your names again?
Oh, Taffy, not there.
Taffy.
How's
Jim
it?
Murphy, you're easy to remember.
Elaine.
Elaine. Eleanor.
Beth.
Beth.
Rich.
Rich.
Tana.
Tana.
Nancy.
Nancy. Paul.
Yes, yeah.
Bingo.
Got it.
All right.
Great.
We're
Thank
lucky.
you so much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Nice to
And
meet
if you have any suggestions, please help me out. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I do have to jump off, but if you guys all remember the Waltons Christmas movie. Yeah, so today I'm going to be Yancey Tucker. I'm picking up the turkeys around noon. And driving them to either Dan's house or Jim's. I haven't figured it out yet, so
Are the turkeys frozen or fresh, Paul?
they're fresh. That's why I couldn't
You're
get them
live.
today.
Hallelujah. And when will you drop them off?
It will be before 7 p.m. I have a meeting in Hull at 7 p.m. so
Today.
I'm gonna
Okay.
get to that today, yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
Yep,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Terrific.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Paul.
We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I don't have much, but I do, I do want to have a discussion about the community dinner we committed to in January. First thing is to set a date. We decided that, I spoke with Nancy and we decided that in January, it should be on a Tuesday when we can have it from 5 to 6 and that kind of thing. So, I don't think you have other meetings scheduled for Tuesday in January yet.
Well, I will, the only time would probably be select board meetings, because, but again, as we just talked, it shouldn't affect us if they have to set up after we leave. But if we get out at 6:30, that might be tough for them. I would suggest not doing it on the select board meeting in case they are here.
Okay, well, they never meet on they usually, isn't it usually the second Tuesday or the first Tuesday of them?
Every other week,
Yeah.
at least.
Week.
Every other week.
Okay, and we don't have a schedule for that, we don't know.
And, all right, so now I'm gonna come bouncing back again.
Yeah, why?
Say to you, this is a community dinner.
Right.
Why is the selectmen's meeting superseding?
Well, it's not, and that's why I said it like that, because I'm just saying, if we aren't here until 6:30, still with, by the time they can come in, I know we're not gonna have them come in until after we,
But what if we have, wait a minute, we have,
They often start at 6.
this is gonna start at 6 o'clock.
so then we'll put it in.
No,
and
this
we'll
is gonna start at 5.
Oh, it's gonna start at
block-
5?
They
Block
start-
it off.
Okay.
So
I
this will be
block
a
it off.
very good way to see how it works. We'll just
Yeah,
block
I'd
off
block
that
it off.
time and say it's booked.
Are they having all the meetings here now?
I was told that they're going to have some at the library, so it might not affect us anymore. After that last conversation I had with Megan, she was under the impression that they were going to do more at the library.
Tell them they can meet here if they clean up first, then they can
And then-
have the room. Let's see if they're still interested.
Why can't they go upstairs?
Yeah, see, I don't understand why they have to have,
Space, I think, for the public. as
Clean up my dirty
Oh.
kitchen, then you can have a meeting.
They can't.
Hey, you all, would you sign this for Ed Mulvey if you wish to?
oh, of course.
Pass that around for you.
How's he doing?
They all have a pen, right? He's okay.
Yeah.
He's all right, you know.
Is he at home?
He's not the same night he was a couple weeks ago.
Huh?
No, he's not. And hopefully he's gonna go into some facility.
Yeah.
Because he really can't do it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But if we
So-
could sign the card, I'll mail it
Sure.
out.
Can we have
Thank
an
you so
update?
much. Sorry?
Can you give us an update on his health?
And that's,
Oh,
he had a stroke. He had a stroke.
Oh, no. Nancy said, hold on.
yeah, I'm just saying maybe we could do that
We
after.
don't want to record it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on,
Right.
I don't want to be on
Yeah.
video.
Sorry.
All right,
Sorry.
all right. So finish on the,
Okay, so
I agree.
I'm thinking either the 24th or 31st in January.
Mhm.
And that we should pick one of those dates.
Sorry.
Yes, close, yeah.
So we need to find out
Open.
when the selectmen's meetings are.
Okay, so, okay. And also, I'm going to sit down. I know what happens. I have been to these community dinners, but I don't know all the steps one by one. Now, you have worked on them, and can help me. I'm going to ask Diane and you.
What is it you're wondering? I mean,
Well, how many people we need? We're not going to have the kids come. We were told that
we've never needed the kids to make the dinner happen. They were a nice adjunct.
Yeah.
They did various things, but I mean, as far as work, we kind of found them little jobs to do. It wasn't like we needed them to put on the dinner.
Okay.
We'd
And-
like to have them interact. sit
Right.
Down and.
And is there a official committee that sends this up? Is this Friends? Is this,
This is Dan and Jim Productions. There's
oh, Dan.
no other organization behind it.
Okay. Well, then perhaps you can tell me what we need to do.
Pick a date,
Yeah?
advertise it,
Okay.
and then wash dishes.
We wash
Help you
dishes
wash dishes.
and we set up the tables.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yeah,
And before we had the student serve, yeah, but if we're not going to have the student serve. maybe
there are
change
plenty
it.
of people who would be happy to help
Yeah.
serve,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
You know, when people say that to me, I say, great. And then I want to know who.
Sure, you gotta organize it.
Well, we just ask people ahead of time to sign up and they do. They
Like the
ask for
Friends,
Thanksgiving,
I'm
like,
sure there are
you know,
plenty of
they need
people
help.
connected with friends who would be willing to do that.
Oh, you say, okay, who sends out the email and where's the list and,
Well,
Liza,
the email for
Thanksgiving.
comes from here.
oh, okay.
Came from Liza,
Came from
Who-
Liza.
who would
So
help?
This would
you
come
know,
from
and
Liza.
like I wrote, said, I'll peel potatoes and other people said, you know, she was looking for setup. Basically, I think she got plenty of people. 'cause
Okay.
Never asked.
I'll talk to her then. I'll talk to her. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is select a date.
Yeah.
And see when the selectmen meetings are.
Well, probably, what's the first Tuesday? What's the date?
The first Tuesday is the third. That's,
That'd be quick.
That's
No,
correct.
I was trying to figure out when the selectmen's meetings would be.
okay, the first Tuesday is the 3rd, and then the second is the 10th, 17th, 24th, 31st. There's 5.
So I tend to go for the 24th.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll find out.
Why are you, what's the attraction to do it only on Tuesdays?
Because that's the only night that it's open.
Because
The night it's open.
Well, I mean, people are in here other nights anyway.
we have to have some member of the town be in the building if anything goes after 4:30.
Oh, even on, okay, except for Tuesdays.
Pardon me? Except for
We'd have to
Tuesdays
have
because-
somebody special.
Because the
Yeah.
facility's open.
Uh,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this will be a work in progress. And who, I asked who would like to help with it. I think you
I
you
think
said
I'd be
you
happy
would,
to
and
do it.
Tav would. Oh, okay, so we have,
Help with what?
The
The dinner.
dinner.
Whatever.
okay, fine. And you're gonna,
Careful.
I'll do it too. Okay.
So did we say the 10th?
No.
No,
it's Saturday the
24th.
Depending on when the selectmen
Was
meet.
it 31st? Okay.
Or
Okay. I'll get back. Oh,
better to avoid them.
yes, it would. Okay, I think I just wanted to establish that we're still gonna do it. I'm still behind this, and I'm gonna be looking into the deed and our their responsibilities to us, to the senior center. Anything else? Okay, are we ready to, does anybody have a question or comments? Nancy, do you?
No,
Or
no, good with me.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
So moved.
Done.